pass on over straight to you then for this conversation.
Well, very important one indeed, Nqobile. I mean, when you look at the Master's Office, this is where civilians are able to interact with the officials. So it's very important for those, especially who needs assistance, to get that assistance. I want to bring in the Minister to speak to us. So far, Minister, you've spoken about a lot with the officials. What have you found out?
Yeah, it's been quite a eventful day. Interacting with our staff, understanding their challenges, understanding what they need from us as leadership of the department to be able to provide a good service and a better service to our clients and public generally. So, one, electricity is not here. The building is not conducive. I mean, I had to walk. I said, if this is what our staff members are going through, I will go through. So we walked up 8th floor to the offices. We've been working, there is no electricity, so I'm reaching out to Minister of Public Works as our landlord to be able to help us with our buildings. I understand that we do not have backup generator in this building. And remember, these are the most vulnerable people who come here. It's a widow who has just lost her husband, who needs a letter of authority. Some of them need those letters so that they can bury their loved ones. They are not able to get a service today, being a Friday. Others are supposed to have funerals over the weekend or next week. And therefore, because the system, there's no electricity, the system is not working, it means they turn back unassisted. Some actually borrow money to come here and to get a service. So it's those things that one worries about, and that's what citizens will not be happy about in terms of having to come to a government office, needing help and going back without receiving help. This office deals with wills. This office deals with appointment of liquidators. We're supposed to have committees sitting. They can't sit, there's no electricity. So it's the first thing. But they've explained to me as well the issue of our network system that we have to solve. I've said to the DG, we need to sit and look at this. We are, as a department, or we have taken a decision as a department that we need to move our services online. You would have seen registration you can still do online. So quite a number of services we want to move online so that we have a better interface with our communities, we work better. We move away from manual filing system. You would have heard I'm raising that quite consistently as I meet with the officials to say the number of paper is a risk for us in terms of issues of fraud. But again, with those who are dealing with liquidators, the team has raised even safety of our officials as they go to meetings being threatened to say, why are you not appointing this one, you are appointing this one, but also possibilities of being our officials being corrupted because somebody wants to be appointed. The wills, they explained to me that sometimes you see that this will is faked. We need powers ministers to be able to deal with some of these things, to refer, because we're dealing with the most vulnerable. I mean, a case of a woman who a brother has sold a house, and therefore we need to help so that this register can change. So you're dealing with quite a number of issues, but the people who are getting the service here, majority are the most vulnerable. So the efficiency, the effectiveness of functioning of this office is critical for us. So getting the basics right and talking to our officials to say, how do I help you as a minister to get your work to be done so that you can provide the service, because I'm not here every day. So being at the interaction, and that's why we took a decision to come here. From this office, I'm going to Kempton Park, Magistrate Court. When I get there, one about peculiar about that magistrate court deals with a lot of foreign nationals who are being arrested. So it's part of the issues to understand the bottlenecks, the challenges, because we've got to employ quite a number of interpreters in different languages. The cost that the provincial head is saying, Minister, I have a challenge here. And then we'll go to Tembisa as well court, which is in a township, to see difference in terms of service that we are providing, and also how do we support them? How do we support the judiciary as the Minister of Justice to be able to function effectively and get for people to get justice? And this is what it is about today.
Minister, are these possible? It sounds like a lot of issues, like it's a litany of them. Can you break it down 1 and 2 and be able to maybe look at the duration that you can take to fix them?
Look, these are possible. I mean, issues of IT system, we've got, for example, Veritas, which is an online system. What we need to do is to change the work with CETA to be able to have the bandwidth that is suitable. So that's a procurement issue that I've said the DG needs to deal with. We can't have officials not being able to work because of a system that it's available. I mean, we can't have a network or bandwidth that is even lower than what public access in public spaces. Student gets into the Wi-Fi in communities and do homeworks. We're having lower that bandwidth. It's something that must be sorted. And I said to the management, there are operational issues that we must get out of the way. When we talk about, because previously the portfolio committee asked about turnaround strategy of masters, and I said, I don't want to talk about big English and big things. Getting the basics sorted is what is important. So within this financial year, I said to the team even last week, when we met in the department, within the financial year of 2025-26, we need to get the master's office up and running and functioning effectively. And we have to work around the clock. If we have to sit in long hours meetings, they have to turn around. I want those decisions. I'm not going to be here and looking at problems instead of solutions. These are the most vulnerable that expect nothing. When they go to bed and pray and say, I wish I can have hope, that's the government that they're looking for, and we've got nothing else to do but to offer that.
And in terms of budgets, Minister, are you able to get that?
Look, there are various areas. For example, I said to Minister McPherson, let's look at what can do. Fortunately, I've been in infrastructure portfolios. So there are various mechanisms that we can implement to be able to do either PPPs in terms of your buildings to sort out. So we shouldn't be hamstrung by saying that there is no budget. There are mechanisms that can be done. In human settlements, for example, previously, we did front loading to be able to resolve the challenges of infrastructure. And one of the things that I want to look at in this portfolio to do. So once we are done with Minister McPherson, I will be able to make pronouncement of what we will do. I've already engaged Minister Malatsi on SETA to say, SETA is failing us. He has issued regulations for us to comment as departments in terms of how best can we solve that. I've made comments. He has received my comments as minister in terms of that, and he has acknowledged that when we were at Lekgotla. So we said to him, by the 1st of April, he needs to help us to get the system functioning. And I don't think it's too much to ask.
Thank you very much, Minister. We'll let you continue. Well, that walkabout is continuing here at Nqobile. We know from this point we are going to Kempton Park, and from Kempton Park to Tembisa, and that's when we are going to get the breakdown of what can be done by the officials to assist in the Department of Justice.